Hello everyone. You wanted the continuation of KuguInuShiba storyline, and it is indeed a high time to do so. As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons, members, and all of you who still watch my videos. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with the uploads, and check out the members only posts with Jealousy and Confession series. Kuguri never expected he would be dreading silence. He liked quiet, the kind that made his thoughts wander and brought peace. Never minded being alone either, since he didn't have to mask anything then. But the kind of silence in their home now brought exactly the opposite feelings. Tense, lonely, and threatening to blow up any moment with just one wrong step. They, well, mostly just Yuki, tried to pry an answer from Inoka, get to the bottom of the mystery of his exhaustion and sudden short temper. Alas, even after 2 days since he came home upset, they weren't any closer to uncovering the reason behind it. Kuguri wished he could do more, provide the same support Inoka gave to him on a daily basis. But whenever he saw Inoka's empty eyes and furrowed brow, all of his courage left him in an instant. Just like in the morning when they met over breakfast after Shibayama left for practice. Just like now when he entered the living room to fetch his laptop and spotted So sitting slumped on a chair, silent and visibly tired. "What is it, So? Why don't you tell us? You know we would help." It probably sounded ironic coming from him. But the difference was, Inoka never hid anything from them. He wore his heart on his sleeve, never lied. Unless it was something damning, that is, as far as Kuguri recalled. That thought sent chills down his spine, together with the few possible explanations of his secretive behavior. Stop. He wouldn't do that. He loves Yuki, he wouldn't hurt him like that. Mistakes happen sometimes, though. But then he would tell him. He wouldn't pretend and lie about it. He would admit it and apologize. He chewed on his lip, contemplating his options while his heart ached seeing someone he loved in obvious pain. He still had Shibayama's words on mind. He was scared of getting yelled at, sure. But more than anything, he was worried about his boyfriend. So? He only got a low hum in return, but at least Inoka acknowledged his presence instead of ignoring him. Do you have a moment? I suppose. He took a deep breath before turning around, obviously putting on a much softer expression than he had to have before. Do you need anything? Talk, I suppose. And some answers too. Answers, huh? Did Yuki put you up on that? Kuguri flinched despite Inoka's voice not changing in the slightest and quickly shook his head. No, I'm worried about you. He sounded pathetic, with his voice hitching by the end before they even started to talk, he knew that. But the last 2 days were horrible, and if he had to embarrass himself to prevent the silence from stretching, so be it. He was used to it anyway. Inoka seemed to pause for a beat before a deep sigh left his mouth. You don't have to be. So, I'm serious. I promise nothing is wrong. I'm just tired, that's all. That's not just tired. Please talk to us. This isn't like you at all. Even I can tell, so just... please. He pressed his lips together to control his emotions and stop the rambling that no longer made any sense. The urge to dig his nails into his skin growing on strength. How was he supposed to provide support when he crumbled the moment he started talking? What was he thinking? Arms wrapped around him then, squishing him in a warm embrace while the ever-so-gentle hand caressed his hair. I'm sorry, please don't cry. I'm not. Okay, but I'm still sorry. I shouldn't be like this. He left the kiss in Kuguru's hair. I promise nothing happened. There's just a lot to do at work right now. Others need help sometimes, so I stay late to finish, that's all. That was a somewhat believable explanation, much kinder than the other one they were thinking about anyway. However, no matter how much Kugure strained his brain, he couldn't think of any type of work that would require Inoka staying so late and making him so tired in a kindergarten. He still stored the new information into his memory, and then allowed himself to melt into Inoka's embrace, even if just for a short moment. So he's overworking himself. Stubborn idiot. Kugure cowered a little despite only bringing the new information, unsure if he should agree out loud or pull back from the annoyance surging from Shibayama now. He understood though. His worry also spiked a notch since learning at least the partial truth behind Inoka's exhaustion. Should we go to kindergarten? They can't keep piling work on him when he's still recovering. I'm not sure if that will help, but yeah, I'll call them. He sighed. And here I thought I would only call a principal if we ever had kids. You want children? It wasn't that surprising considering Inoka's line of work, and he knew Shibayama loved kids too. Yet somehow it never occurred to him that they would want children of their own, since the two never talked with him about it either. Shibayama gave him a gentle smile and caressed his hand. Let's leave that for another time, okay? We should deal with this before thinking about anything else. Do you think So will be upset we mingle into his work? He can be upset all he wants. If he can't tell how dangerous it is for him right now, we need to kick him in the butt a little. Right. He still hesitated, memory of Inoka's face twisted with anger flashing through his mind. It was such a strange sight, one he never wanted to see again, but which he was now quite possibly moving towards. However, imagining So collapsing or worse because of brain bleeding was even scarier. He startled when a smaller hand cupped his cheek. I'll call them, okay? If he gets upset, you can blame it all on me. I don't care if he yells at me. But I do. He didn't want to see his boyfriend's relationship crumble while he stood aside, only good for picking up the pieces. Shibayama had to know what he thought about at least to some extent, as he leaned over to kiss his forehead, a warm smile curling his lips. It's going to be fine, you'll see. The air seeped of tension that evening, and Shibayama's constant pacing around definitely didn't help. Although Kugure couldn't blame him, he would also gladly pace around to relieve some of the anxiety settled in his chest. Unfortunately, his ankle didn't allow him more than a few steps without a crutch at the time that day, leaving him squirming on a chair at the mercy of his thoughts. It had been about 10 minutes since Yuki finished his call with Inoka's boss. 10 minutes since the older woman swore she actually eased Inoka's workload until they were sure he was in full health, and that the other teachers also knew it. So where does this lot of work come from then? He sounded even more agitated than a minute ago, his fists clenched and the brow furrowed with the deep scowl settled on his lips. Kugure wished he had an answer for that, but nothing came to mind. Just that someone had to be lying, and Kugure dreaded the possibility of it being Inoka after all. Stop it, you are so unfair to him. Hen squeezed his shoulder. It's going to be fine, you'll see. He's not one to keep a secret forever. I know, it's just... Why hide it in the first place? Because he thinks he knows what he's doing and that he doesn't need our help. It's that simple. Was it? Then again, if anyone knew Inoka through and through, it was Shibayama. He couldn't possibly compare after just 2 years together. He didn't get much time to think about it deeper though, as in the next moment, key rattled in the lock, followed by the familiar footsteps and a tired call of hello. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yuki knows what he's doing. Inoka paused mid-step when he saw them, the look in his eyes telling them he knew exactly what was happening. Double interrogation now, huh? Kugure flinched, while Shibayama just shrugged. You're stubborn, so I'm taking out the big guns now. Big guns? That's cheating, Yuki. And I told you... I know, but I don't accept that explanation. He stopped in front of Inoka, the strict aura emanating from him making him seem much taller than he was. Your boss said she's giving you less work these days. Inoka opened his mouth to retort something, but then froze mid-breath when he caught up on what Yuki said. You called my boss? Yes. Are you serious? How dare you go behind my back like this? You also do, no? The difference is, we are worried about you. His face softened despite Inoka's clenched jaw and raised voice, and Kugure couldn't but admire his fortitude. I know you thought now there's a lot of work to be done, but you're still recovering and your boss apparently respects that. So where's that work coming from? It has to be a lot when it's leaving you so exhausted. Yuki, I swear to God. So... He flinched at the hitch in his voice, the 2 pairs of eyes that suddenly turned to him sending shivers down his spine. He wasn't even sure why he spoke up or what he wanted to say. He just knew he couldn't go on like this anymore, even if it meant making so angry at him. No, please. Why can't you understand we are worried about you? That's why we want to know. Not because we are dozy or don't trust you. Do you know how scary it was to see you collapse in that forest? How scary it was to wait for hours before they finally told us what's wrong and if you are alright? If you are even alive? His hands trembled perhaps even more than his voice now, his vision hazing against his wish. I don't want that to repeat. I don't want you to get hurt again. He stopped, unable to get the rest of his plea through his tightened throat. Silence settled around, a scary one since he couldn't see either of his boyfriend's expression clearly enough to read them. He instinctively cowered a little, averting his eyes and braced himself for backlash. But no yelling or hit landed. Instead, he found himself in a warm embrace, just like the day prior, the whispered sorries by his ear preventing him from panicking. Sorry, I'm sorry, shh, please don't cry, I'm so sorry. He didn't sound upset at all, but his voice had a strange undertone to it, one Kugure hadn't heard since he almost got hit by a car. You always tell me to share what's on my mind, but now you are doing the opposite. Why? I know, I'm sorry. It's just that it's nothing serious. My coworkers just need help these days, that's all. I'm helping them out a little, nothing more going on, I swear. Always so kind. He paused. But something isn't right. You've never stayed behind for so long though, did you? Kugure glanced up, noticing Shibama's forehead was scrunched as if he was thinking hard about something. Even Inoka tilted his head, confused. I've helped out once a while before, but there's a lot this time around. Is that so? He hadn't said anything else, but the little nudge was enough for Kugure to start thinking too. He gets less work until he's in full health. The other teachers know about it as well. There's more this time around. Always so kind. And suddenly, the little pieces started to fall in place, creating an image of carelessness and disregard to another's health, whether purposely or not. He glanced at Shibayama, but couldn't tell if they came to the same conclusion or not. For a moment, he contemplated his options, but even when he tried to ask if he was right, the words refused to leave his mouth. It frustrated him to no end, but his mind and fear decided for him. And so he slumped back against Inoka's chest, gripping the back of his sweatshirt in his fists to prevent him from leaving, despite Inoka not showing any signs of wanting to let go. It was all too uncertain. He needed to talk to Yuki, then they could do something about it. He just hoped they wouldn't be too late. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. So, as you could probably tell, there is going to be one more part to this before I move on to different plot point for their story. But it's going to take a little while because I am heading away for quite a long time. Hopefully I will be able to write it during my trip, but yeah, it's going to take a little while. I have some videos pre-prepared, so hope you are looking forward to that. If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time!